I never thought my daughter would ask a complete stranger to be her father. Especially not a man whose eyes held the kind of darkness that made my survival instinct scream run. But Anna looked up at Michael Moretti on that snowy Christmas Eve and asked him the one question I'd been dreading she'd ask anyone. Can you be my new dad? My name is Clara Bennett, single mother, waitress at Romano's Italian restaurant, and the woman raising a 5-year-old girl who has maybe a year left to live. This is the story of how I went from pushing away every person who tried to get close to us to letting the most dangerous man in New York become the father my daughter desperately needed. How I learned that sometimes the scariest-looking people have the gentlest hearts. And how a little girl with limited time taught both of us that love doesn't wait for perfect timing. But let me ask you something first.
How are you doing today?
Where are you watching from? Is it cold where you are or warm? Because this story starts on the coldest Christmas Eve I can remember, and I need you to feel it with me. The bite of winter air. The desperation of a mother who knows she's running out of time. The fear of watching your child slip away and being completely powerless to stop it. If this story resonates with you, if it makes you feel something, do me a favor. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Because what happened to me, to Anna, to Michael, it changed everything I believed about second chances. But let me start from the beginning. I was 26 years old when this happened. 26 and exhausted in ways that had nothing to do with the double shifts I pulled at the restaurant. Anna was 5. Beautiful, bright, full of questions and laughter, and this fearless way of looking at the world that broke my heart every single day. Because 6 months before that Christmas Eve, a doctor sat across from me in a sterile office and told me my daughter had a rare degenerative condition. Progressive. Terminal. Maybe a year, he said. 18 months if we're lucky. I remember the sound of his voice going distant, like I was underwater. I remember looking at Anna in the waiting room through the office window, coloring in her Cinderella book, completely unaware that her whole life had just been measured in months. I stopped believing in God that day. Stopped believing in fairness, in justice, in any kind of cosmic balance that would let a 5-year-old baby girl die before she even learned to ride a bike without training wheels. I stopped believing in a lot of things. Love, especially. Anna's father, Derek, he left when she was 2. Couldn't handle the responsibility, couldn't handle being tied down, couldn't handle any of it. I got a text message. Just a text. I can't do this. I'm sorry. And that was it. No forwarding address. No child support. Nothing. So I learned to do it alone. Me and Anna against the world. I worked doubles, triples when I could get them. Romano's paid decent tips, especially during the holidays. Mr. Romano, the owner, he knew about Anna's condition. He never said much, but he'd slip me extra shifts, let me take home leftover food, look the other way when I came in late because of doctor appointments. I built walls. High ones. Thick ones. Because I couldn't afford to let anyone in just to watch them leave when things got hard. And things were always hard. I had exactly 3 goals. Keep Anna happy. Keep Anna comfortable. And make sure her last year on this earth was filled with so much love and joy that it would somehow make up for all the years she'd never get to have. I didn't have room for anything else. Not friends. Not dating. Certainly not romance. Which is why when my coworker Stephanie cornered me in the break room 3 days before Christmas, I knew I was in trouble. Clara, you need to do something for yourself, she said, blocking the door like she thought I might bolt. Which, to be fair, I was considering. Steph, I have a 5-year-old and medical bills that could choke a horse. I don't need to do anything except survive. It's one date. Christmas Eve. My boyfriend's friend needs someone to meet his sister. She set up this whole blind date thing, and he's desperate. Then he can stay desperate. Clara. Stephanie's voice went soft. The kind of soft that meant she was about to say something that would make me want to punch her. You're 26 years old. You're allowed to have one night where you're not just Anna's mom, where you're just Clara. I don't want to be just Clara. Clara is tired and broke and watching her daughter die. I'll pass. But Stephanie had this look. This determined, I'm not going to let you say no. Look that I'd seen her use on difficult customers. One dinner. 2 hours max. His sister already made the reservation. If it's awful, you leave. But you need this. You need to remember you're still alive. That last part hit harder than I wanted to admit.
I said yes. Not because I wanted to,
but because Stephanie was right about one thing. I'd forgotten what it felt like to be anything other than tired. Christmas Eve came too fast. I dropped Anna off with Mrs. Chun, our neighbor who watched her sometimes. Sweet woman, 70 years old, treated Anna like her own granddaughter. Anna was excited, talking about the cookies they were going to bake, the Christmas movies they were going to watch. I kissed her forehead, breathed in that little kid smell of strawberry shampoo and innocence. Be good for Mrs. Chun, okay, baby? I'm always good, Mama. She grinned up at me, gap-toothed and perfect. God, I loved her so much it physically hurt. I took the subway to the restaurant. Not Romano's, thankfully. Some upscale place in Midtown that Stephanie's boyfriend had suggested. The kind of place with cloth napkins and wine lists longer than my grocery receipts. I felt out of place the second I walked in. Christmas decorations everywhere. Gold and red and green. Twinkling lights. A massive tree in the corner covered in ornaments that probably cost more than my rent. Couples everywhere, laughing, holding hands, living lives that felt impossibly far from mine. The hostess led me to a table near the window. Your date should be here any moment, she said with a smile that was probably meant to be encouraging. I sat down, smoothed my dress. It was the only nice one I owned, black and simple, bought from a thrift store 2 years ago for a job interview I never got. I felt like an imposter. And then he walked in. I noticed him before the hostess pointed him out. Everyone did. The whole restaurant seemed to shift when he entered, like the air pressure had changed. He was tall, over 6 feet. Black suit, perfectly tailored, the kind that whispered money and power. Dark hair, swept back. Strong jaw.
and eyes. God, his eyes.
They were dark, almost black, and completely empty, like looking into a void. He moved like a predator.
Smooth.
Controlled. Every step deliberate. The hostess brought him to my table, and I watched him take me in with one sweeping glance. No expression.
No words.
Nothing. He sat down across from me without a word. Hi, I said, trying to sound normal.
I'm Clara.
Michael. His voice was deep, quiet. The kind of voice that didn't need to be loud to command attention. Silence. I waited for him to say something else. Anything. But he just sat there, hands folded on the table, watching me like I was a puzzle he had no interest in solving. So, I tried again. Your sister set this up? Yes. That's nice of her. Is it? Not a question. A statement.
Flat.
Emotionless. I felt irritation spark in my chest. I'd left my daughter on Christmas Eve, put on this stupid dress, taken the subway across town, and this man couldn't even pretend to be interested. Look, I said, leaning forward. I don't know what your deal is, and honestly, I don't care. But I have better things to do than sit here while you stare at me like I'm some kind of obligation you're trying to tolerate. Something flickered in his eyes. Just for a second. Then it was gone. You have somewhere else to be? Actually, yes. I have a 5-year-old daughter who I'd much rather be spending Christmas Eve with than watching you practice your impression of a statue. Then leave. The words were cold, final, dismissive. I stood up, grabbed my coat. Merry Christmas, he said. Still no emotion. Just words.
Yeah.
You too. I walked out of that restaurant so angry I was shaking. What a complete waste of time. What a complete waste of effort. Stephanie was going to get an earful tomorrow. The cold hit me the second I stepped outside.
Sharp.
Biting. The kind of cold that seeps into your bones. Snow was falling, light and steady, covering the sidewalks in a thin white blanket. I started walking toward the subway station, pulling my coat tighter. And that's when I heard it. Mama, wait. I turned around. Anna was running toward me through the snow, her red coat bright against the white, hood lined with white fur bouncing as she ran. Mrs. Chun was behind her, hurrying, calling her name.
My heart stopped. Anna?
Baby, what are you doing here? You're supposed to be at Mrs. Chen's. But Anna wasn't looking at me.
She was looking past me.
At Michael. He'd come out of the restaurant, probably heading to wherever dangerous men like him go on Christmas Eve. He'd stopped when he saw Anna running. Now he was just standing there, 10 feet away, watching. And Anna walked right up to him. My daughter. My careful, cautious daughter who usually hid behind my legs when strangers talked to her. She walked up to this man who radiated danger like other people radiate warmth. She looked up at him, tilted her head, studied him with those big, serious eyes. And then she said it. Can you be my new dad? The world stopped. I couldn't breathe, couldn't move, couldn't process what I'd just heard. Michael Moretti, this man who'd barely spoken 3 words to me, who looked like he could kill someone without blinking, just stood there, staring down at my 5-year-old daughter. For the first time since I'd met him 20 minutes ago, his face changed. The emptiness cracked. Just slightly. Something moved behind those dark eyes. Something that looked almost like pain. Mrs. Chun reached us, breathless. Clara, I'm so sorry. She saw you through the window when we were walking to the bakery. She just took off. I couldn't catch her. It's okay, I said automatically, even though nothing was okay. Nothing about this was okay. I grabbed Anna's hand. Baby, you can't just ask strangers things like that. But he's not a stranger, Mama. He had dinner with you. That means you know him. 5-year-old logic. Flawless and terrifying. I looked up at Michael, ready to apologize, ready to grab Anna and run. But he was still staring at her. And slowly, so slowly, I almost thought I imagined it, he knelt down, bringing himself to her level. You too hungry? He asked. His voice was different. Still quiet, but softer. Gentler. We haven't had dinner yet, Anna said cheerfully, completely unaware that she'd just approached one of the most dangerous men in New York and asked him to be her father. Michael stood, looked at me, and for the first time, I saw something real in his expression. Let me buy you dinner. Both of you. That's not necessary, I started. Please. One word. But the way he said it, like he was asking for something he desperately needed but didn't know how to name. I should have said no. Every instinct, I had screamed to take Anna and leave. But something in his eyes stopped me. Something broken and honest and raw. Okay, I heard myself say. Okay. Michael led us back into the restaurant, and I watched the staff react to him. The hostess straightened immediately. The manager appeared from nowhere, suddenly attentive, suddenly concerned about our comfort. They moved us to a different table, a corner booth with more privacy, softer lighting. Nobody questioned him. Nobody hesitated. That's when I started to understand. This wasn't just some rich guy with an attitude problem. This was someone with real power. The kind that made people nervous. Anna slid into the booth next to Michael before I could stop her. She set her stuffed rabbit on the table between them, a worn gray bunny with one ear shorter than the other. This is Mr. Hoppy, she announced. He's been with me since I was 3. Michael looked at the rabbit with the same serious attention he'd given everything else. Does Mr. Hoppy like Italian food? Anna giggled. Actually giggled. Rabbits don't eat pasta, silly. They eat carrots. We should order him some then. And just like that, my daughter was talking to this stranger like they'd known each other forever. Chattering about her favorite foods, her favorite colors, the Christmas tree Mrs. Chun had let her help decorate. I sat across from them, watching, trying to reconcile the cold man from earlier with this one who was listening to my 5-year-old talk about rabbits with complete focus. Mrs. Chun had excused herself after making sure we were okay, heading back home. I'd thanked her profusely, promised to text her when we were done. A waiter came. Michael ordered without looking at the menu. Pasta for Anna. Something with chicken. A side of carrots for the rabbit. He glanced at me and I just nodded, too overwhelmed to think about food. How old are you? Anna asked him, swinging her legs under the table. 32. That's old. Mama's 26. That's not as old. Anna, I said quickly. That's not polite. But Michael's mouth twitched. Almost a smile. Your mama is right. 26 is much younger. Do you have a little girl? The question landed like a bomb. Michael's expression shuddered immediately. The warmth that had started to creep in vanished. His hands, resting on the table, tensed. No, he said quietly. I don't. Do you want one? Because I'm a very good little girl. Mama says so. Anna, that's enough, I said, more firmly this time. My cheeks were burning.
I'm sorry.
She's very forward.
She's honest, Michael said.
He was looking at Anna again, and that broken thing in his eyes was back. That's not a bad thing. The food came quickly, faster than normal, more than we'd ordered. Bread, salads, the pasta, extra sides. The manager himself brought some of it, making sure everything was perfect. Michael barely touched his food. He just watched Anna eat, answering her endless questions with patience I didn't know strangers possessed. Why do you dress so fancy? She asked, tomato sauce on her chin. It's my work clothes. What do you do for work? I help people solve problems. What kind of problems? Complicated ones. I was waiting for him to get annoyed, to shut down her questions. But he didn't. He answered each one, simple and honest, in a way that satisfied her curiosity, without telling her anything real. Halfway through dinner, Anna yawned. A big, face-scrunching yawn that made her look even smaller. Tired, baby? I asked. A little,
but I don't want to go yet.
I like it here. Michael stood suddenly. Wait here. He walked away before I could respond, disappearing toward the front of the restaurant. Anna looked at me. I like him, Mama. He listens good. Well, I corrected automatically. He listens well. That too. I should have been more concerned. Should have been asking myself what I was doing, letting my dying daughter get attached to a complete stranger. But watching her smile, seeing her happy, I couldn't bring myself to care about what I should do. Michael came back 5 minutes later with a small shopping bag. He set it on the table in front of Anna. What's this? She asked, eyes wide. Something I thought you might like. She pulled out a book. Hardcover, beautiful illustration on the front. A little girl and a rabbit under a starry sky. The title read The Moon Rabbit's Journey. Anna gasped.
Actual gasp.
It's about rabbits. And adventures, Michael said. The man at the bookstore next door said it was good. You went to a bookstore? For me. Yes. Anna threw her arms around the book, hugging it to her chest. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Mama, look. He got me a book about rabbits. I couldn't speak. My throat was too tight. This man, this dangerous stranger, had left in the middle of dinner to buy my daughter a book. You didn't have to do that, I managed. I know. Our eyes met across the table, and something passed between us. Understanding, maybe. Or recognition. Two people who knew what loss felt like, even if we'd lost different things. Anna opened the book immediately, tracing the pictures with her finger. Will you read it to me?
Now.
Michael asked. Please. He looked at me. I nodded, not trusting my voice. So Michael Moretti, whoever he really was, read my daughter a story about a brave little rabbit who went to the moon. His voice was steady, calm, nothing like the cold tone from earlier. Anna leaned against his arm, completely content, completely trusting. I watched them and felt something crack inside my chest. Something I'd kept locked away since the diagnosis. Since Derek left. Since I decided I had to do this alone. Hope. Dangerous, foolish hope. When he finished reading, Anna was fighting to keep her eyes open. I think someone needs to go home, I said softly. But I don't want to leave yet, Anna protested weakly. You can take the book with you, Michael said. Read it again whenever you want. Will I see you again? The question hung in the air. Michael looked at me. Actually looked at me. Asking permission. I should have said no. Should have thanked him for dinner and walked away. Protected both of us from whatever this was. Maybe. I heard myself say instead. Tomorrow? Anna asked hopefully. It's Christmas. We could have Christmas together. Anna. Michael probably has his own family to spend Christmas with. I don't, he said simply. Not really. See, Mama? He doesn't have family. We can be his family. Just for Christmas. I looked at this man who'd bought my daughter a book, who'd listened to her talk about rabbits, who had something broken in his eyes that matched the broken thing in my chest. If you want to, I said carefully. We'll be home tomorrow. Nothing fancy. Just us. What time? 10? We usually make pancakes Christmas morning. I'll be there. Michael paid for everything. Refused to let me even look at the bill. Walked us outside and flagged down a cab, handing the driver enough money to cover the fare twice over. Before we got in, Anna hugged his leg, just wrapped her little arms around him and squeezed. Thank you for being nice to me and Mama, she said. Michael stood very still. Then, slowly, he put his hand on top of her head. Gentle. Careful. Thank you for asking me to dinner, he said. We got in the cab. As we pulled away, I looked back. Michael was still standing there in the snow, watching us leave.
Nana.
Anna said sleepily, curled against my side. Yeah, baby. I think he's sad like you are. Maybe we can make him happy. Out of the mouths of children. I held her closer as the city's lights blurred past the window. I got Anna home and into bed by 9. She insisted on sleeping with the new book, tucking it next to Mr. Hoppy on her pillow. Tomorrow's going to be the best Christmas, she murmured, already half asleep. Maybe it will be, baby. I kissed her forehead, turned on her nightlight shaped like a star, and closed the door softly. Then I went to the kitchen and collapsed into a chair. What had I just done? I'd invited a complete stranger to spend Christmas with us. A man I knew nothing about except that he made restaurant staff nervous and wore suits that cost more than my car. A man who'd looked at my daughter like she was something precious. Like she mattered. I pulled out my phone and texted Stephanie. That date was weird. Need to talk tomorrow. Her response came immediately. Weird how? Good weird or bad weird? I don't know yet. That's cryptic. Details tomorrow. Merry Christmas. I set the phone down and looked around my tiny apartment. 2 bedrooms barely. Kitchen the size of a closet. Living room with a couch I'd found on the street and reupholster myself. A small Christmas tree in the corner, decorated with ornaments Anna had made from construction paper and glitter. It wasn't much, but it was ours. And tomorrow, Michael Moretti would see all of it. Would see exactly how different our worlds were. I should have been embarrassed. Should have been worried about what he'd think. But all I could think about was the way he'd looked at Anna. The way he'd listened to her. The way something had shifted in his expression when she asked him to be her dad. Like he'd been waiting for someone to need him. I cleaned up the kitchen, double-checked that the door was locked, and went to check on Anna one more time before bed. She was fast asleep, the book clutched in her small hands, Mr. Hoppy tucked under her chin. 1 year, the doctors had said. Maybe 18 months. Every day with her was borrowed time. Every smile, every laugh, every moment. I was watching my daughter grow up and leave me simultaneously. And tomorrow, for some reason I couldn't explain, I was letting a stranger into that pain. I went to bed, but couldn't sleep. Just lay there staring at the ceiling, wondering what tomorrow would bring. Wondering who Michael Moretti really was. Wondering why a man who looked like he'd forgotten how to feel had looked at my daughter and seen something worth staying for. At 3 a.m, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. A text. Thank you for tonight. I'll bring coffee tomorrow. Michael. I stared at the message. He'd gotten my number somehow. Probably from the restaurant reservation, or maybe he had ways of finding things out. That should have worried me. Instead, I found myself smiling. We like coffee, I typed back. See you at 10. I finally fell asleep around 4, and when I woke up at 7 to Anna jumping on my bed, I felt more rested than I had in months. It's Christmas, Mama. It's Christmas. Is Michael really coming? He said he would. We need to make the best pancakes ever. The absolute best. With chocolate chips and whipped cream and everything. Everything, huh? Everything. We got up. Got dressed. Anna wore her favorite red dress with the white collar, the one that made her look like a little Christmas angel. I put on jeans and a soft sweater, nothing fancy, because this was my home, and I wasn't going to pretend to be something I wasn't. By 9:30, the apartment smelled like coffee and anticipation. I'd gotten out the pancake ingredients, set the table with our mismatched plates, put out the nice napkins I usually saved for Thanksgiving. Anna kept running to the window, looking down at the street 4 floors below. Is he here yet? What about now?
Now.
Baby, you're going to wear yourself out. But what if he doesn't come? That fear in her voice. That small, heartbreaking doubt. He'll come, I said, trying to sound more confident than I felt. He promised. At exactly 10 o'clock, there was a knock on the door. Anna squealed and ran to it. I got there first, checking through the peephole. Michael stood in the hallway holding a carrier with 3 coffee cups and a shopping bag. He'd changed clothes. Dark jeans, black sweater, leather jacket. Still looked expensive, but less intimidating. More human. I opened the door.
Hi, I said. Eat.
He held up the coffee. I didn't know how you take it, so I brought options. Options are good. Anna grabbed his hand and pulled him inside. You came. You really came. Mama said you would, but I wasn't sure and you did. I said I would, Michael replied, letting himself be dragged into our tiny living room. I watched him take in the space. The worn furniture. The small TV. The handmade decorations. The whole modest reality of our life. He didn't flinch. Didn't judge. Just set down the coffee and the bag and looked at Anna. You said something about pancakes? The best pancakes ever. With chocolate chips. Then we should probably get started. The 3 of us moved into the kitchen, and I waited for the awkwardness. For the tension. For the reality that this was weird and forced, and a terrible idea. But Anna was already pulling Michael toward the counter, explaining the pancake process with the seriousness of a master chef. And Michael was listening, nodding, asking questions about chocolate chip distribution like it was the most important topic in the world. And I stood there with my coffee, watching a stranger in my kitchen with my daughter, and felt something I hadn't felt in a very long time. Safe. Making pancakes with Michael Moretti was surreal. He moved around my tiny kitchen like he was learning a foreign language. Precise. Careful. Watching everything Anna and I did with complete focus. You crack the eggs like this, Anna demonstrated, tapping one against the bowl. Half the shell went in with the egg. Anna, baby, let me get that, I said, fishing out the pieces. I can do it, Michael said quietly. He cracked the next 3 eggs perfectly, one-handed, no shells. Show off, I muttered. His mouth twitched. Almost a smile. Anna was in heaven. She narrated everything, explained every step, tested the batter twice before I could stop her. Michael measured flour at her direction, stirred when she told him to, even let her add way too many chocolate chips without comment. More chocolate makes them better, Anna insisted. Can't argue with that logic, Michael said. I heated the griddle and started pouring batter. Michael stood next to me, watching the bubbles form on the surface. You flip when the bubbles pop, I explained. See? Like that. He nodded, studied the process. When I handed him the spatula for the next one, he flipped it perfectly. Natural talent, I said. Good teacher. Our eyes met for just a second. Something warm passed between us. Something that made my stomach flip like those pancakes. Anna sat at the counter, swinging her legs, talking nonstop. About Christmas, about the book he'd given her, about how Mr. Hoppy had never had pancakes before but was excited to try them. Michael listened to all of it. Never interrupted. Never dismissed her. Just listened like her words mattered. We sat down to eat around 11. The pancakes were lopsided and had too many chocolate chips, and were probably the ugliest breakfast I'd ever made. Anna declared them perfect. These are the best pancakes in the whole world, she announced through a mouthful of whipped cream. In the whole world? Michael asked seriously. The whole entire world. Right, Mama? The whole entire world, I agreed. Michael cut his pancake into precise squares. Ate slowly, methodically. But I noticed he finished everything on his plate. After breakfast, Anna wanted to open presents. We'd moved to the living room, and she was bouncing with excitement. Can Michael watch me open presents? If he wants to, I said, looking at him. I'd like that. There weren't many presents. I'd bought what I could afford. A new coloring book. Crayons. a stuffed dog she'd been eyeing at the drugstore, some clothes she needed. Everything wrapped in newspaper comics because wrapping paper felt like a waste of money. Anna didn't care. She tore into each present like it was treasure. Hugged the stuffed dog. Immediately named him Captain Fluff. Started coloring in the new book right there on the floor. Mama, look. I'm making you a picture. I can't wait to see it, baby. Michael had been quiet, watching from the couch. Then he reached for the shopping bag he'd brought. I have something too, he said. If that's okay. You already gave her a book, I protested. You don't need to give her anything else. I want to. He pulled out a wrapped box. Actually wrapped, with real paper and a bow. Professional. Beautiful. Anna's eyes went huge. For me? For you. She took it carefully like it might break. Looked at me for permission. I nodded. She unwrapped it slowly, preserving the paper, revealing a white box. Inside, nestled in tissue paper, was a snow globe. But not just any snow globe. This was art. Glass, so clear it looked like water. Inside, a little girl in a red coat stood next to a rabbit under a starlit sky. When Anna shook it, silver glitter swirled around them like magic. It's me, Anna whispered. And Mr. Hoppy. And stars. I saw it in a shop window yesterday, Michael said. Reminded me of you. Anna set the snow globe down carefully and walked over to Michael. She climbed up onto the couch next to him and hugged him. Really hugged him. Arms around his neck. Face pressed against his shoulder. Thank you, Daddy Michael. I saw him freeze. Saw his hands hover uncertain. Then slowly, so slowly, he put his arms around her. Held her like she was made of glass. When Anna pulled back, she was smiling. Can we read my book now? The one you gave me? If your mama says it's okay. It's okay. I managed, my voice thick. So Michael read. Anna curled up next to him on the couch, Captain Fluff and Mr. Hoppy on her lap, the snow globe on the coffee table catching the light from the Christmas tree. I sat in the armchair and watched them. This dangerous man and my dying daughter. His deep voice telling the story of the brave rabbit who went to the moon. Her small hand resting on his arm. Both of them completely absorbed in the moment. I pulled out my phone and took a picture. I couldn't help it. I needed to remember this. Whatever this was. When the story ended, Anna yawned.
I'm sleepy. You should take a nap, I said.
You've been up since 7. Will Michael still be here when I wake up?
Michael looked at me.
I looked back. We were having an entire conversation without words.
Stay. Please stay.
I don't know why, but I need you to stay. I'll be here, he said. Promise. Promise. I took Anna to her room, helped her change into comfortable clothes, tucked her in with her army of stuffed animals and her new book. Mama, she said as I was leaving. Yeah, baby, I love him already. Is that okay? My heart cracked.
Yeah, sweetheart.
That's okay. Good, because I think he needs us. He has sad eyes like you used to have. Used to have. Past tense. Like I didn't anymore. Maybe I didn't. I kissed her forehead and went back to the living room. Michael was standing by the window, looking out at the snowy street below. Hands in his pockets. Shoulders tense. She's asleep, I said. He nodded but didn't turn around. Michael, I should probably thank you. For the presents. For being here. For being so good with her. Don't. Don't what? Don't thank me. He finally turned to face me. I should be thanking you. For letting me in. For letting me be part of this. Part of what? Something good. The way he said it. Like good was a foreign concept. Like he'd forgotten what it felt like. Who are you? I asked quietly. Really? Does it matter? It might. He walked over to the couch. Sat down heavily. Stared at his hands. 3 years ago, I was going to get married. Her name was Isabella. She was everything I wasn't. Light. Warmth. She made me believe I could be something other than what I was. What happened?
A bomb.
Meant for me. She was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
His voice was flat. Dead.
I'd made enemies. Comes with the territory of what I do. They wanted to hurt me. They did. I'm so sorry. After she died, I stopped feeling anything. Easier that way. Safer. If you don't feel, you can't hurt. But you feel now. He looked up at me. Your daughter asked me to be her dad. Nobody's ever needed me like that. Nobody's ever looked at me and seen anything worth keeping. Anna has a gift for that. Seeing people. She sees you too. Sees how much you love her. How scared you are. I sat down in the armchair, wrapped my arms around myself. The doctors gave her a year. Maybe. She has this degenerative condition. Progressive. Terminal. There's nothing they can do. I know. I looked up sharply. How do you know? Mrs. Chen mentioned it last night. After you got in the cab. She wanted to make sure I understood what I was getting into. That Anna is sick. And you still came. I still came. We sat in silence for a moment. Two broken people in a tiny living room on Christmas Day. What do? I asked. For work. Things I'm not proud of. Things that keep people safe, but break other things in the process. That's vague. It needs to be. Are you dangerous? He looked at me steadily.
Honest. To some people, yes.
To you and Anna, never. I should have been scared. Should have asked him to leave. Should have protected my daughter from whatever darkness followed this man. But I'd seen how gentle he was with her. How careful. How he'd read her a story like it was the most important thing in the world. Okay, I said. Okay. You can stay. For today. But Michael, I need to know that if you're going to be in her life, you're really going to be in it. I can't let her get attached and then have you disappear. She doesn't have time for that. I won't disappear. How do I know that? You don't. You just have to trust me.
Trust.
That word. So simple. So impossible. But looking at him, seeing the honesty in his eyes, the brokenness that matched mine, I realized I did trust him. Against all logic, against all reason, I trusted this stranger. Then stay, I said. Stay for Christmas. He stayed. We spent the afternoon in comfortable quiet. Michael sat on the couch reading a book I'd left on the coffee table. Some thriller I'd picked up at a yard sale. I did dishes, wrapped up leftover pancakes, tried to act normal while a man I'd met less than 24 hours ago made himself at home in my living room. Around 3, Anna woke up. She came padding out in her socks, hair messy, rubbing her eyes. You're still here, she said to Michael, smiling. I promise. Can we watch a movie? What movie? The Polar Express. It's my favorite Christmas movie ever. We all squeezed onto the couch. Anna in the middle, me on one side, Michael on the other. She'd insisted on making hot chocolate first, so we all had mugs, and she'd given Michael specific instructions on the proper marshmallow to chocolate ratio. The movie played. Anna sang along to all the songs. Quoted the lines she'd memorized. At the scary parts, she grabbed both our hands. Michael let her. Held her small hand in his large one. Didn't let go even after the scary part ended. Somewhere during the movie, Anna fell asleep again. Head on my lap, feet on Michael's leg. She's tired more now, I said quietly. The condition. It's getting worse. How much time do the doctors think she has? 6 months to a year. Depends on how fast it progresses. What can I do? The question surprised me. What do you mean?
To help.
What can I do to help? Michael, you don't have to do anything. This isn't your responsibility. But I want it to be. I stared at him. At this man who'd walked into my life by accident, who'd bought my daughter presents, who'd read her stories, who was sitting on my couch on Christmas holding her hand while she slept. Why? I asked. You don't know us. You don't owe us anything. Because for the first time in 3 years, I felt something yesterday. When Anna asked me to be her dad. When she looked at me like I was someone worth keeping. I felt something break open inside me. Something I thought was dead. Michael. I'm not asking to replace anyone. I'm not asking for anything. I just want to be here. For whatever time she has. If you'll let me. I looked down at Anna, sleeping peacefully, her small chest rising and falling. My baby girl who'd asked a stranger to be her father, who somehow knew what we both needed before we did. Okay, I whispered. You can be here. Thank you. But Michael, I need you to understand something. I'm going to watch my daughter die. That's my reality. Every day I wake up is one day closer to losing her. If you stay, you're signing up for that pain, that loss. Are you sure you want that? He reached over Anna and took my hand. His palm was warm, calloused,
Strong.
I'm sure. The movie ended. The sun started to set outside, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. Anna woke up around 5, hungry and demanding dinner. We ordered pizza. Anna's choice. Michael called it in, insisted on paying, had it delivered to the door. We ate on the couch, watching Christmas cartoons, Anna telling stories between bites about what Santa might be doing now that Christmas was almost over. He's probably sleeping, she decided. He worked really hard last night. Probably, Michael agreed seriously. Do you believe in Santa? Anna asked him. I believe in Christmas magic. That's almost the same thing. Around 8, Anna was yawning again. I got her ready for bed, helped her brush her teeth, tucked her in with all her stuffed animals. Can Michael say goodnight too? She asked. If he wants to. I called Michael in. He stood in the doorway of her small room, looking almost uncertain. Come here, Anna said, patting the bed next to her. He sat down carefully on the edge of her bed. Will you come back tomorrow? She asked. Do you want me to? Every day. Forever. Michael's face did something complicated. Pain and joy mixed together. I'll come back as much as I can. Promise. Promise. Anna reached up and hugged him. I love you, Daddy Michael. He closed his eyes, held her gently. I love you too, Anna. She pulled back, satisfied, and snuggled down under her covers. Good night. Good night. We left her room. I pulled the door almost closed, leaving it cracked so her night light could shine through. Michael stood in the hallway. He looked wrecked, emotionally devastated, like those 3 words from my daughter had torn him apart. Are you okay? I asked softly. I don't know. I haven't said that to anyone since Isabella died.
I'm sorry.
I know this is a lot. Don't be sorry. I meant it. I love her. I know it's insane.
I've known her for a day.
But I love her. She has that effect on people. We walked back to the living room. Michael grabbed his jacket from where he'd draped it over the chair. I should go. Let you rest. Okay. But neither of us moved. Can I ask you something? I said. Anything. Why did you agree to that blind date? You clearly didn't want to be there. He smiled. Barely. My sister, Gabriella.
She's been worried about me, trying to fix me.
She set up the date, begged me to go. I went because I owed her, but I had no intention of trying. And now I'm glad she dragged me there, even if the date was terrible. Hey, I protested. I wasn't that bad. You told me I looked like a statue. You acted like one. Fair enough. We stood there in my tiny living room, smiling at each other like idiots. Can I have your number? Michael asked. Your real one. So, I don't have to track you down through restaurant reservations. You track me down? I have resources. That's creepy. I know. I'm working on being less creepy. I laughed. Actually laughed. When was the last time I'd done that? I gave him my number. He saved it, then called me so I'd have his. Text me when you get home safe, I said. I will. He opened the door.
Paused.
Turned back. Clara? Yeah. Thank you. For today.
For letting me in.
For trusting me with her. Thank you for staying.
He left.
I locked the door behind him and leaned against it. One day, 24 hours, and my entire life had shifted. My phone buzzed 20 minutes later. Home safe.
Sleep well.
See you tomorrow. I smiled and texted back. Tomorrow. Same time. I'll bring coffee. You don't have to. I want to. I went to bed that night feeling lighter than I had in months. Feeling like maybe, just maybe, we didn't have to do this alone anymore. I had no idea what was coming. No idea how deep this would go. No idea that in trying to protect my heart, I'd already given it away. Michael came back the next morning. And the morning after that.
And the one after that.
By New Year's Eve, he'd become part of our routine. Part of our lives. Part of us. He'd show up around 9 with coffee and bagels. Sometimes pastries from a bakery in Little Italy that Anna loved. He never came empty-handed. Never asked if he could visit. Just showed up like he belonged there. And somehow he did. We fell into a pattern. Mornings were for Anna. Michael would play whatever game she wanted. Color with her. Read to her. Build elaborate blanket forts that took up half the living room. He was patient in a way I'd never seen anyone be patient. Never got frustrated when she changed the rules mid-game. Never complained when she wanted to hear the same story 3 times in a row. Afternoons, if Anna napped, Michael and I would talk. Really talk. He told me about his sister Gabriella, who ran an art gallery in Chelsea and worried about him constantly. About growing up in a family where strength meant everything and weakness got you killed. About Isabella and how she'd seen something good in him that he'd never seen in himself.
I told him about Derek.
About the text message that ended my relationship and forced me into single motherhood. About the diagnosis and how I'd spent 6 months in denial before accepting that my daughter was dying. About the guilt I carried every single day, wondering if I'd done something wrong during pregnancy, if I'd missed signs earlier, if I could have prevented this somehow. You can't prevent genetics, Michael said one afternoon while Anna slept. We were sitting at my tiny kitchen table, coffee going cold between us. Sometimes terrible things just happen. It's not your fault. Knowing that doesn't make it easier.
No.
But you're doing everything right. She's happy. She's loved. That's what matters. For how long, though? 6 months? 8? Every day I wake up wondering if this is the day things get worse. If this is the day she stops being able to walk, or talk, or breathe on her own. Michael reached across the table and took my hand. He'd started doing that. Small touches. His hand on mine. His shoulder brushing against me when we sat together. Nothing inappropriate. Just contact. Connection. You're not alone anymore, he said. Whatever happens, you're not alone. I wanted to believe him. God, I wanted to believe him so badly. But I'd been alone for so long. Trusting someone felt like standing on the edge of a cliff, waiting to fall. New Year's Eve, Michael brought champagne. The expensive kind, in a bottle that probably cost more than my monthly grocery budget. We're celebrating, he announced. Celebrating what? I asked. New beginnings. Anna was thrilled about staying up until midnight. She'd never made it that late before. Michael promised to keep her awake with games and movies and as much sugar as she could handle. You're going to regret that promise, I warned him. I never regret my promises. We spent the evening watching movies, eating takeout Chinese food, playing board games that Anna made up rules for as we went. Around 11, she was starting to fade. I'm not tired, she insisted, rubbing her eyes. Of course not, Michael said seriously. You're wide awake. So awake. Then you can help me make a toast at midnight. What's a toast? When we say something important about the year. About what we hope for. I can do that. I'm good at hoping. At 11:59, Michael turned on the TV to watch the ball drop in Times Square. He'd poured champagne for us, ginger ale for Anna in a fancy glass he'd brought specifically for her. The countdown started. Anna counted along, loud and excited. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year. We clinked our glasses together. Anna took a sip of her ginger ale and made a face. It's bubbly. That's the point, Michael said. Can I make my toast now? Go ahead, sweetheart, I said. She stood up on the couch, holding her glass carefully. I hope this year we stay together. Me and Mama and Daddy Michael. Forever and ever. That's my hope. My throat closed up. I couldn't speak. Michael lifted his glass. To staying together. However long we get. We drank. Anna climbed into Michael's lap, already falling asleep. He held her easily, naturally, like he'd been doing it his whole life. I should put her to bed, I said quietly. Let me. Michael carried Anna to her room. I followed, watching as he laid her down gently, pulled her blankets up, made sure Mr. Hoppy and Captain Fluff were within reach. Good night, Anna, he whispered. Love you, she mumbled, already mostly asleep. Love you too. We left her room.
Stood in the hallway.
The apartment was quiet except for the TV still playing in the living room. She's going to break my heart, Michael said. I know. I can't imagine not being here, not seeing her every day, not being part of this. Michael, you know it's coming. You know how this ends. I know. And I'm staying anyway. He left around 1 a.m, kissed my forehead at the door. Just a brief press of lips against skin.
The first time he'd done that.
Happy New Year, Clara. Happy New Year. I locked the door behind him and touched my forehead where his lips had been. Warmth spread through my chest. Dangerous warmth. I was falling for him, despite every warning I'd given myself, despite knowing better,
despite everything.
And that terrified me more than Anna's diagnosis ever had. January brought doctor appointments. Lots of them. Tests to monitor Anna's progression. Blood work. Neurological assessments. Physical therapy to maintain her muscle strength as long as possible. I'd been doing these appointments alone for months. But Michael asked if he could come. You don't have to, I said. They're long and boring and depressing. I want to be there. For both of you. So he came. Sat in waiting rooms with us. Held Anna's hand during the scary parts. Distracted her with stories and games when the doctors examined her. Made the nurses laugh with his dry comments. Made the whole terrible process slightly less terrible. Dr. Patel, Anna's neurologist, pulled me aside after one appointment in mid-January. She's progressing faster than we hoped, he said gently. The muscle weakness in her legs is accelerating. We need to start thinking about mobility aids. A wheelchair, eventually. How long before she can't walk? Maybe 3 months. Maybe less. 3 months. 12 weeks. 90 days. The number felt both impossibly far away and terrifyingly close. What about the rest? The breathing problems, the cognitive decline? Still hard to predict. But Clara, we're looking at the shorter end of the timeline now.
6 months, maybe.
Not a year. I nodded. Tried to look professional. Tried not to fall apart in this sterile office with its motivational posters and medical charts. Okay. Thank you for being honest. I'm sorry I don't have better news. I went back to the waiting room. Michael took one look at my face and knew. Anna was occupied with a tablet, watching cartoons with headphones on. What did he say? Michael asked quietly. Faster than expected. 3 months until she needs a wheelchair. 6 months total if we're lucky. His jaw clenched. His hands fisted. But his voice stayed calm. What do? We make the next 6 months the best 6 months of her life. Then that's what we do. We took Anna to the park that afternoon despite the cold. She wanted to swing, so Michael pushed her while I watched. Her laughter cut through the winter air, bright and clear and alive. So alive. I took pictures. So many pictures.
My phone was full of them now.
Anna coloring. Anna reading. Anna sleeping. Anna with Michael. Always with Michael. I was documenting everything, trying to capture moments that I knew I'd need later.
After.
That night, after Anna went to bed, Michael stayed. He'd been staying later and later. Sometimes until midnight. Sometimes until I fell asleep on the couch and woke up to find a blanket over me and Michael gone. Tonight, I didn't fall asleep. We sat together on the couch, his arm around my shoulders, my head on his chest. Not talking. Just existing together in the quiet. I'm scared. I finally said. I know. I don't know how to do this. How to watch her fade. How to stay strong when everything inside me is breaking. You don't have to be strong all the time. Yes, I do. For her. Not when she's asleep. Not when it's just us. You can break here. I'll catch you. I turned my face into his chest and cried. Really cried. Ugly, gasping sobs that I'd been holding back for months. Michael held me through all of it.
Didn't tell me to stop. Didn't tell me it would be okay.
Just held me and let me shatter. When I finally stopped, exhausted and empty, he wiped my face with his sleeve. Better? He asked. Not really, but thank you.
Anytime.
Michael, can I ask you something? Always. Why are you really here? I know you care about Anna. I know you love her. But this is so much. Too much for someone who barely knows us.
He was quiet for a long time.
Then he said, when Isabella died, I died with her. Everything that made me human, everything soft, it all just stopped. I became what I needed to be to survive.
Hard.
Cold. Dangerous. I convinced myself that was enough. And then Anna asked you to be her dad. And then Anna asked me to be her dad. And something woke up. Something I thought was gone forever. She made me feel again, Clara. She reminded me that I'm not just the terrible things I've done. That I can be someone worth loving. You are worth loving.
He looked at me.
Really looked at me. His dark eyes full of things he wasn't saying. So are you, he said quietly. The air between us changed. Charged. Heavy with possibility. Michael's hand came up to cut my face. His thumb brushed across my cheekbone.
Tell me to leave, he said.
Tell me this is a bad idea. It is a bad idea. Then tell me to leave. I can't. He kissed me. Soft at first.
Testing.
Then deeper when I kissed him back. His hand slid into my hair. My hands fisted in his shirt. Everything I'd been holding back, every feeling I'd tried to suppress, came rushing to the surface. We broke apart, breathing hard. We shouldn't do this, I said. Probably not. It's too complicated. Too messy. Yes. Michael. I know. But Clara, I'm already in too deep. I'm already in love with your daughter. And I'm falling in love with you. So tell me now if you want me to stop. Tell me now if this is too much. Because if we keep going, I'm not going anywhere. No matter what happens. I looked at this man who'd appeared in my life by accident. This dangerous, broken, beautiful man who'd somehow become my anchor. Don't go anywhere, I whispered. He kissed me again. Slower this time. Sweeter. Like a promise. We fell asleep on the couch together that night. His arms around me. My head on his chest. For the first time in years, I felt safe enough to let go.
To trust. To hope.
I should have known better. Hope is dangerous when you're living on borrowed time. February came too fast. Anna's legs were getting weaker. She could still walk, but not far. She got tired easily. Started needing help with things she used to do herself. Michael was there through all of it. Patient. Gentle. He'd carry her when she couldn't walk. Read to her when she was too tired to play. Just sit with her when she didn't feel good. He'd also started spending nights. Not sleeping in my bed, not yet. But staying over. Sleeping on the couch. Being there when Anna woke up. Making breakfast with us. Becoming part of our morning routine. It felt like we were a family. A real family. And that's when things started to shift. Michael got phone calls. Lots of them. He'd step into the hallway or the bedroom to take them. Voice low, conversation clipped. He never told me what they were about. Just said it was work. He started leaving in the middle of the day sometimes. Urgent business, he'd say. Be back soon. And he always came back. But I could see the tension in his shoulders. The worry in his eyes. Something was wrong. One night in mid-February, after Anna was asleep, I confronted him. What's going on? What do you mean? Don't do that. Don't pretend everything's fine. You've been tense for weeks. The phone calls. The sudden disappearances. Something's wrong. Michael sat down heavily on the couch. Ran his hands through his hair. There's a situation. At work. What kind of situation? The kind where people want to hurt me. Where being close to me puts other people in danger. My blood went cold. Are we in danger? Is Anna in danger?
No.
I've made sure of that. But Clara, there are people who know about you now. About Anna. People who might try to use you to get to me. Use us how? To pressure me. To manipulate me. To hurt me through you. I stood up, started pacing. This is exactly what I was afraid of. You said you'd never put us in danger. You're not in danger. I have people watching. Security, you don't see. Nobody can get to you without going through me first. Security? You have people watching us? For your protection. You should have told me. You should have asked. You're right.
I'm sorry.
But Clara, I can't walk away now. Even if it would be safer. I can't leave you. I can't leave Anna. So what do? We trust each other. We stay careful. And we don't let them win. I wanted to be angry. Wanted to tell him to leave, to take his danger and his secrets with him. But looking at him, seeing the fear in his eyes, I couldn't. Because he was right. We were in too deep. All of us. Okay, I said finally. But no more secrets. If something happens, if there's a threat, you tell me. I promise. He kept that promise. For about 2 weeks. Then everything fell apart. It happened on a Tuesday. Anna had a doctor's appointment. Routine checkup. Michael was supposed to meet us there at 2. He'd promised. Never missed an appointment before. 2 o'clock came and went.
No, Michael.
I texted him.
Called him.
Nothing. By 3 o'clock, the appointment was over. Dr. Patel had more bad news. Anna's lung capacity was declining faster than expected. We needed to start thinking about respiratory support. I held Anna's hand and nodded like I understood. Like my world wasn't crumbling. Like the man I'd fallen in love with hadn't just disappeared when I needed him most. We got home around 4. Still no word from Michael. Anna was upset. Where's Daddy Michael? He promised he'd be there. I don't know, baby. I'm sure he has a good reason. But he promised. I know. I put her down for a nap and checked my phone obsessively. Nothing. At 6 o'clock, there was a knock on the door. I ran to it, expecting Michael, ready to be angry and relieved simultaneously. It wasn't Michael. A woman stood in the hallway. Beautiful. Designer clothes. Dark hair pulled back elegantly. She looked at me with cold assessment. You must be Clara. Who are you? Gabriella Moretti. Michael's sister. May I come in? I didn't want to let her in. Something about her expression made my stomach twist. But I stepped aside. Gabriella walked into my apartment like she owned it. Looked around at my second-hand furniture, my small space, my humble life. Her expression didn't change, but I felt judged anyway. Where's Michael? I asked. That's why I'm here. We need to talk.
About what?
She turned to face me. About the fact that you're putting my brother in danger. About the fact that playing house with you and your daughter is going to get him killed. Excuse me? Michael has enemies. Serious ones. For the past 3 years, he's been untouchable because he had nothing to lose.
No weakness. No vulnerability.
But now he has you. And they know it. He told me he had security. That we were safe. You're safe. He's not. Because he's too distracted protecting you to protect himself. Yesterday, there was an attempt on his life. He's fine, she added quickly, seeing my face. But he's dealing with the fallout. Which is why he couldn't be at your daughter's appointment. Relief and anger warred in my chest. He should have called. He should have told me. He didn't want to worry you. Michael thinks he can have both. His world and yours. But he can't. Eventually, someone's going to get hurt. Are you asking me to end this? I'm asking you to consider what's best for everyone. Including your daughter. She's sick, Clara. She doesn't need the trauma of losing someone else when Michael inevitably gets killed because he's too busy playing father to watch his back. The words hit like a physical blow. Get out. I'm trying to help you. By telling me my daughter is going to lose someone else? By implying Michael's going to die because of us? Get out of my apartment. Gabriella's expression softened slightly. I don't mean to be cruel. But someone needs to be realistic. Michael hasn't been himself since he met you. He's making mistakes. Taking risks he shouldn't take. I'm afraid of what's going to happen if this continues. That's his choice. Is it? Or are you so desperate for help with your daughter that you're willing to let him destroy himself? Get out.
Now.
She left, but her words stayed. I sat on the couch, shaking. Was she right? Was I putting Michael in danger? Was I so desperate for someone to share this burden that I'd ignored the cost? My phone finally rang at 8 o'clock. Michael, where the hell have you been? I answered.
I'm sorry.
Something came up. Work situation. Your sister was here. Silence. Then, what did she say? That you almost died yesterday. That I'm putting you in danger. That you're going to get yourself killed because of us. Clara, that's not true. Which part? The almost dying? Because she seemed pretty sure about that. I handled it.
I've fine.
You should have told me. You promised no more secrets. I know.
I'm sorry.
I didn't want to scare you. Well, congratulations. Your sister did it for you. I'm coming over.
No.
Clara.
No, Michael.
I need to think. I need to process this. I can't do that with you here. Don't let Gabriella get in your head. She means well, but she doesn't understand. Maybe she understands better than we do. Maybe we've been fooling ourselves that this could work. Don't do this. I'm not doing anything. I'm just asking for space. One night. That's all. He was quiet for a long moment. Okay. One night. But, Clara, we're going to talk about this. Really talk. Because I'm not giving up on us. One night, I repeated and hung up. I checked on Anna. She was still sleeping, curled around Mr. Hoppy. So small. So fragile. So temporary. Gabriella was right about one thing. Anna didn't have time for complications. Didn't have time to lose someone else. But looking at her, I knew it was already too late. She loved Michael. Really loved him. Losing him now would break her heart just as badly as losing him later. We were trapped. All of us. I didn't sleep that night. Just lay in bed staring at the ceiling, wondering how I'd let this happen. How I'd let someone in when I knew better. When I knew the cost. Michael showed up the next morning anyway.
Of course he did.
I opened the door, and he stood there, looking exhausted. Dark circles under his eyes. Tension in every line of his body. I said I needed space. I know. But I also know you. You're spiraling. You're convincing yourself that pushing me away is the right thing to do. Maybe it is. Can I come in? Please. I let him in. Anna was still asleep. We sat at the kitchen table. The same table where we'd had coffee dozens of times. Where we talked about everything and nothing. Where we'd built this fragile thing between us. Tell me what happened, I said. The truth. Michael took a breath. There's a man.
Sauhuso.
He used to work for my family. I had to make a decision 3 years ago that cost him everything. His brother died because of me. He's wanted revenge ever since. And yesterday? He tried to kill me. Car bomb. I wasn't in the car. My driver was. He survived, but barely. My hand went to my mouth. Michael. I've been handling it, taking care of the threat. But Gabriella's right about one thing. Being with you makes me vulnerable. Not because you're weak, but because I care about you. About Anna. That gives people leverage. So what do? We don't give them leverage. We stay careful. We stay smart. Or we end this before someone gets killed. Is that what you want? I looked at him. At this man who'd become everything to us. Who'd made Anna laugh when she was in pain. Who'd held me when I cried. Who'd somehow made the unbearable slightly more bearable.
No, y whisperat.
But I don't want you dead either. I'm not going to die. I'm going to handle this. And then I'm going to be here for you. For Anna. For whatever time she has left. You can't promise that. I know. But I'm promising anyway. Anna woke up then. We heard her calling for me.
Mama?
Is Daddy Michael here? Yeah, baby. He's here. She came padding out, climbed into Michael's lap immediately. You missed my appointment yesterday. I know. I'm sorry. It's okay. Mama said you had a good reason. I did. But I should have called. I should have told you. You're here now. That's what matters. Out of the mouths of children. The next few weeks were tense. Michael was there, but different. More distracted. More protective. He'd position himself between us and doors. Watch everyone who came near us. I'd catch him checking his phone constantly. Living with fear became our new normal. Anna's condition worsened. By the end of February, she couldn't walk anymore. The wheelchair came. She hated it at first, cried and said she didn't want it. But Michael made it into an adventure. Decorated it with stickers. Raced her through the apartment. Made her laugh about it. That's what he did. Made terrible things less terrible. March brought more complications. Anna's breathing got harder. She needed oxygen at night. The tank in her room hummed constantly, a reminder of what we were losing. I'd stopped working. Used up all my sick days, then quit. Mr. Romano understood. Gave me a month's pay as a gift. Said Anna was more important than any job. Money got tight. Really tight. I was burning through my savings. Medical bills piled up despite insurance.
Copy. Equipment.
Medications. Michael offered to help. I refused. Clara, let me help. I have money. More than I could ever spend.
No.
Why not? Because I can't owe you that. I can't owe anyone that. It's not a debt. It's help. There's a difference. Not to me. We fought about it. Actually fought. Raised voices while Anna slept. Both of us frustrated and scared, and dealing with it badly. You're being stubborn, Michael said. And you're being pushy. I'm trying to take care of you. I don't need you to take care of me. I need you to be here. That's all. Just be here. I am here. But I can do more. I want to do more. Well, I don't want more. I want this.
Us.
Simple. Uncomplicated. Nothing about this is simple, Clara.
He was right.
Nothing about this was simple. But I couldn't take his money. Couldn't let him fix this with his resources. Because money couldn't fix what was wrong. Money couldn't save Anna. And accepting it felt like admitting defeat. Michael eventually stopped offering. But I'd catch him paying for things anyway. Groceries that mysteriously appeared. Medical bills that got marked as paid when I knew I hadn't paid them. Delivery food that I hadn't ordered. I should have been grateful. Instead, I felt like I was losing control of the one thing I could control. My independence. We stopped talking about it. Just existed in this weird tension where we both knew what was happening but nobody acknowledged it. Anna's 6th birthday was in early April. We'd known she probably wouldn't make it to 7. Dr. Patel had been clear. Maybe a month left. Maybe 6 weeks. Every day was a gift. Every moment borrowed. Michael went all out. Rented a bounce house even though Anna couldn't use it. Hired a princess to come visit. Bought a cake that was bigger than Anna. Invited people from the building, from the hospital, everyone who'd been part of our journey. Anna sat in her wheelchair wearing a princess dress, crown on her head, oxygen tube in her nose, smiling so bright it hurt to look at. Best birthday ever, she declared. Michael knelt next to her. Yeah. Because you're here. You and Mama. My whole family. I took a picture. Are you? Or did you stay because of her, and now you're just too guilty to leave? Don't do that. Don't twist this into something it's not. Then what is it, Michael? What are we without her?
He looked at me.
Hurt and anger warring on his face. We're two people who love each other. Who've been through hell together. Who need each other. I don't need anyone. I've been alone before. I can be alone again. You don't have to be. Yes, I do. Because everyone leaves eventually. Derek left. Anna left. You'll leave too. Better to do it now before I get used to you being here. I'm not leaving. Then I'm asking you to leave. Please, Michael. Just go. He stood there for a long moment. Then he nodded once. Okay, I'll go. But I'm not giving up on you. On us. When you're ready, I'll be here. Don't wait. Move on. Find someone who isn't broken. Everyone's broken, Clara. That's not the point. Then what is the point? The point is finding someone whose broken pieces fit with yours. And yours fit with mine. Perfectly. He left. Walked out of my apartment. Out of my life. I told myself it was the right thing. The smart thing. The safe thing. I told myself a lot of lies in those first weeks. Without Michael, the apartment felt wrong. Too quiet. Too empty. I'd wake up expecting to hear his voice, to smell coffee he'd brought, to see him reading on the couch. But he wasn't there. Nobody was there. Just me and the ghost of my daughter and the memory of what we'd almost been. I stopped eating, stopped sleeping, stopped functioning, just existed in a fog of grief and regret. Stephanie came by,
Force me to shower. To eat something.
to rejoin the world. You're punishing yourself, she said.
I'm grieving.
You're hiding. There's a difference. I pushed away the one person who actually stayed. So call him. Apologize. Fix it. I can't. I said terrible things. He'll forgive you.
He shouldn't.
But he will. Because he loves you. Anyone can see that. Could he? Did he still? I'd pushed him away when he'd done nothing wrong. Blamed him for not being enough to fix my pain when nothing could fix it. I pulled out my phone, scrolled to his number, stared at it. What would I even say? Sorry I destroyed us, because I was grieving? Sorry I can't function like a normal person? Sorry I'm too damaged to accept love? I put the phone down. Coward. 2 months after Anna died, Gabriella showed up at my door. What do you want? I asked. To talk. Can I come in? Why should I let you? Because you look terrible and I'm worried about my brother, and we need to have a conversation. I let her in. She looked around the apartment, at the pictures of Anna still on the walls, the wheelchair folded in the corner, the oxygen tank I couldn't bring myself to return. You pushed him away, she said. I know. He's miserable. Good. Then we match. Clara, I came here 2 months ago and said terrible things. Things I regret. I thought you were a distraction. A weakness. I was wrong. Were you?
Yes.
Michael hasn't been this alive in years. Even now, grieving Anna, he's more human than he's been since Isabella died. You did that. You and your daughter. Then why are you here? Because he won't come unless you ask him to. And you won't ask because you're convinced you don't deserve him. But you're wrong. You deserve each other. I told him terrible things. He knows you were grieving. He forgives you. The question is, can you forgive yourself? I looked at this woman who'd tried to drive us apart, who now stood in my living room telling me to fix what I'd broken. I don't know how to do this without her. She was the reason we worked, the glue holding us together. No, she wasn't. She was the catalyst. But what you and Michael have, that's separate. That's real. Don't throw it away because you're scared. Everyone leaves. Not everyone. Not him. He stayed through the worst of it. Through watching a child die. Through your grief. Through you pushing him away.
He's still here.
Still waiting. What if I'm too broken? Then you're broken together. Clara, life is short. Anna taught you that. Don't waste what time you have being alone when you could be loved. She left. Her words echoed in the empty apartment. Don't waste what time you have. Anna had said something similar. In the hospital. You and Daddy Michael will be okay. You have each other. We have each other. If I was brave enough to reach out. I picked up my phone. Opened Michael's contact. Typed a message.
I'm sorry.
For everything.
Can we talk?
I hit send before I could change my mind. 3 dots appeared immediately. He'd been waiting. I'll be there in 20 minutes. I showered. Changed clothes. Tried to make myself look like a human being instead of a grief zombie. 20 minutes later, there was a knock on the door. Michael stood in the hallway. He looked terrible. Tired.
Worn.
But his eyes lit up when he saw me.
Hi, he said. Eat.
We stared at each other for a long moment. Then I stepped forward and wrapped my arms around him, buried my face in his chest, and broke. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean any of it. I was just so angry and hurt, and I couldn't breathe, and I took it out on you, and I'm sorry.
His arms came around me. Tight.
Safe. It's okay. I understand. It's not okay. You stayed through everything, and I threw you out like you meant nothing. You were grieving. You are grieving. You get to be messy and wrong and unfair. That's allowed. I don't want to be alone anymore. Then don't be. I'm right here. I pulled back, looked up at him. Are you sure? Are you sure you want this? Want me? I'm a disaster. I'm broken. I don't know if I'll ever be whole again. I don't want you whole. I want you exactly as you are. Broken pieces and all. Even the sharp ones? Especially the sharp ones. They match mine. I kissed him. Desperately. Like I could pour everything I couldn't say into that kiss. All the grief and love and regret and hope. He kissed me back just as desperately. Like he'd been drowning and I was air. When we broke apart, we were both crying. I love you, I said. I should have said it before. Should have said it every day. I love you, Michael. I love you too. So much. Can we try again? Can we figure out how to do this without her?
Yes.
Whatever it takes. However long it takes. We'll figure it out together. Together. That word. So simple. So powerful. I wasn't alone anymore. We had each other. And maybe, just maybe, that was enough. Michael moved in 2 weeks later. Officially.
Brought his clothes.
His books. Made space for himself in my life. It was strange at first. Learning how to be together without Anna between us. Learning who we were as just us. But slowly, we figured it out. He'd make coffee in the mornings. I'd make dinner at night. We'd talk about everything and nothing. Fall asleep tangled together. Wake up the same way. I started therapy. Real therapy. To process the grief. To learn how to live with loss. Michael came with me sometimes. We did couples counseling. Learned how to communicate. How to fight fair. How to support each other through the hard days. Because there were hard days. Lots of them. Days where I couldn't get out of bed. Days where Michael had nightmares about Isabella and Anna. Days where we both fell apart and had to put each other back together. But we made it through. Together. 3 months after Anna died, Michael proposed. We were in the apartment.
Just a normal night.
He'd ordered Thai food. We were eating on the couch, watching some terrible reality show. He turned to me suddenly. Marry me. I blinked. What? Marry me. I know it's fast. I know we're still grieving. I know it's not perfect timing. But I don't want to wait. I don't want to waste any more time. Marry me. Michael, I don't need a ring or a wedding. I just need you. I know. But I want to give you everything anyway. Marry me, Clara. Let me be your family. Officially. I looked at this man who'd become my entire world. Who'd loved my daughter like his own. Who'd stayed through the worst thing that could happen and still wanted more. Yes, I said. Yes, I'll marry you. He kissed me. Pulled a ring from his pocket. Nothing flashy. Simple band with small diamonds.
Perfect.
I've been carrying this for a month, he admitted. Waiting for the right moment. This is the right moment. We got married 2 months later.
Small ceremony. Just close friends.
Gabriella. Stephanie. Mr. Romano. Mrs. Chun. People who'd been there through everything. We said our vows in the same church where we'd said goodbye to Anna. It felt right. Like she was there with us. Michael cried during his vows. So did I. You saved me, he said. You and Anna. You reminded me that life is worth living. That love is worth the risk. That broken people can still find happiness. I promise to love you. To stay. To be your family for however long we get. You already are my family, I said. You have been since that first Christmas.
Thank you. For seeing me.
For staying. For loving us both. I promise to let you in.
To trust you.
To build a life with you that honors her memory and creates new joy. I love you. The reception was in a small Italian restaurant. Michael's choice. He'd rented out the whole place. Good food.
Good wine. Good people.
Gabriella gave a toast. I wasn't sure about Clara at first. I thought she was a distraction. A complication. I was so wrong. She brought my brother back to life. She and Anna gave him something worth fighting for. Clara, welcome to the family. Take care of him. I will. I promised. We danced. Michael held me close, whispered in my ear about the future, about the life we'd build, about hope. I want to start a foundation, he said, in Anna's name, to help families dealing with terminal childhood illnesses, medical bills, support, whatever they need. Michael, that's beautiful. She changed my life. I want her to change other lives too. Even now. Even after. She'd love that. I know. We left the reception early. Went home to our apartment. Our space. Our life. Made love slowly.
Carefully.
Like we had all the time in the world and wanted to savor every second. Fell asleep wrapped around each other. Safe.
Loved.
Whole. A year after Anna died, we launched the Anna Bennett Moretti Foundation. The name had been my idea.
Bennett for my family.
Moretti for Michael's. Both parts of her. We'd raised money. Used Michael's connections. His resources. Created something real. Something lasting. The foundation provided financial support for families with terminally ill children. Paid medical bills.
Covered rent.
Bought groceries. Whatever they needed. No questions asked. We also created support groups, connected families, made sure nobody had to go through it alone the way I had in the beginning. The launch party was huge. Hundreds of people.
Press.
Donations pouring in. But the best part was the families. The mothers and fathers who came up to us crying, thanking us for helping them breathe. You don't know what this means, one woman said. She had a son, 8 years old, cancer. We were going to lose our apartment. Now we can stay. Now we can focus on him instead of bills.
That's what we want, I said.
That's what Anna would want. Michael stood next to me all night. My partner in everything. We'd built this together. Created good from grief. At the end of the night, we went to the cemetery. Sat by Anna's grave. Told her about the foundation. About all the families we'd help. I think she's proud, Michael said. I know she is. We sat in comfortable silence. The kind of silence that comes from really knowing someone. From surviving the worst together. Do you ever regret it? Michael asked. That blind date? Meeting me? All of this? Never.
Do you?
Not for a second. Even with the pain. Even with losing her. I'd do it all again. Every moment. Me too. We left the cemetery as the sun set. Drove home together. Our apartment was different now. We'd moved some of Anna's things. Kept the important stuff. Her favorite books. Mr. Hoppy. The Snow Globe. But made space for new memories too. Life moved forward. It had to. I'd started working again. Part-time at the foundation. Helping families navigate the system. Using my experience to make their journeys easier. Michael had stepped back from some of his business. The dangerous parts. He'd restructured. Gone legitimate. Well, more legitimate. Some old habits were hard to break. But he was safer. We were safer. We were building a life. 6 months after the foundation launched, Michael came home with news. I talked to an adoption agency today. I looked up from my laptop. You what? I want kids, Clara. With you. I know we can't replace Anna. I know that's not what this is. But I want to be a father again. And I think you want to be a mother again. So, I talked to an agency. My heart clenched. Michael, I don't know if I can do that. Lose another child. Every parent risks that. Every single day. But they do it anyway because love is worth the risk. You're quoting me. From therapy. You're smart. I listen. What if I'm too scared? Then we'll be scared together. But Clara, we have so much love to give. So much life to live. Anna taught us that. Shouldn't we honor her by living fully? He was right. Staying frozen in grief wasn't honoring her. Living was. Okay, I said. Let's look into it. Really? Really? He kissed me. Pulled me close. Thank you. For what? For being brave. For saying yes. For building this life with me. Thank you for asking that little girl to dinner. For showing up. For staying. Always. A year later, we adopted a little boy. Oliver was 4 years old. He'd been in foster care his whole life. Needed a family. Needed love. The social worker warned us he had issues. Trust problems. Behavioral stuff. He'd been through trauma. We didn't care. We had love. We had patience. We had experience with broken things. The first time we met Oliver, he reminded me of Michael. Guarded.
Scared.
Pretending not to need anyone. Hi, Oliver, I said gently.
I'm Claire.
This is Michael. He stared at us. Suspicious. We'd like to be your family, Michael said. If you'll let us. Why? Oliver asked. The same question Anna had asked in her own way. Because everyone deserves a family. And we'd really like you to be ours. What if I'm bad? You're not bad. You've just had bad things happen to you. There's a difference. Oliver looked at Michael with those guarded eyes. Then at me. Then back to Michael. Okay, he said quietly. You can be my family. And just like that, we started again. It wasn't easy. Oliver had nightmares. Trust issues. Moments where he'd lash out or withdraw. But we were patient. We showed up. We stayed. Slowly, he opened up. Started to smile. Started to believe we wouldn't leave. On his first Christmas with us, he asked Michael to read him a story. The same book Michael had given Anna. The Moon Rabbit's Journey. Michael's hands shook as he opened it. But his voice stayed steady. Oliver fell asleep halfway through. Michael kept reading anyway.
For him.
For Anna. For all of us. I took a picture. Michael and Oliver.
Different but the same.
Love transcending loss. Life didn't replace what we'd lost. But it gave us new things to love. New reasons to keep going. The foundation grew. We helped hundreds of families. Thousands eventually. Made real change. Real difference. Oliver grew too. Healed.
Thrived.
Became ours in every way that mattered. Michael and I grew together. Stronger.
Deeper.
Our broken pieces fitting perfectly, like he'd said they would. On what would have been Anna's 8th birthday, we had a party. Celebrated her. The families from the foundation came. Oliver helped blow out candles on a cake we'd made in her honor. Tell me about my sister, Oliver asked later. He'd started calling her that. His sister he'd never met, but felt connected to anyway. She was brave, I said. And funny. And full of love. She had this way of seeing people. Really seeing them. She saw your daddy when everyone else just saw someone scary. She saw the good in him. Like she saw the good in me? Oliver asked. Exactly like that. I wish I could have met her. Me too, baby. But she'd love you. I know she would. Michael pulled us both close. His family. Built from loss. Held together by love. We'd survived the worst. And somehow, we'd found our way to something beautiful. That night, after Oliver was asleep, Michael and I sat on the couch. Our spot. Where everything had begun. We did good, he said. We did. Anna would be proud. I know she would. He kissed my temple. I love you. I love you too. Outside, snow started to fall. Just like that first Christmas Eve, when a little girl in a red coat asked a dangerous man to be her father. And changed everything. Life is strange, beautiful, painful, worth it. We don't always get the time we want, but we get the time we have. And what we do with it matters. Anna taught me that. Taught us both. So we lived.
Fully. Completely.
Honoring her memory by choosing love over fear. Connection over isolation. Hope over despair.